So I'm going to use this page to complete S7Y on iExcel. You only have to write down the calculations that you cannot judge in your head. If you miss two, you must write them. So this is a lesson on comparing area and perimeter of rectangles and squares. Which figure has the greater area? And there's area is equal to height times width. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 versus 16. Here says which figure has a greater perimeter. Perimeter, so these are squares. So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 16, 24, 32. 32 versus 24. Which figure has a greater area? 7 times 7 is 49. And 9 times 5 is 45. The greater area is 49. So now, let's say I've been doing these for a while. I don't have to write them down if I can judge them in my head. But if I miss two, then I have to write them. So which figure has a greater perimeter? So that's 28 times 4 versus 33 plus 32 is 55 plus 55. And so over here, to find the green perimeter, I can add 28 up 4 times, or I can multiply 28 times 4. 32. 112 millimeters. Okay. And then 55 millimeters plus 55 millimeters. 110. So the 28. Oh no, I missed it. Got it wrong. Use the song. View it twice. Write what's nice. Then move along. I knew I had to write this down, but even though I calculated, I got it wrong. Let's see. Which figure has a greater perimeter? (28 plus 28 plus 28 plus 28). So 28 times 4 was the correct thinking, and 112 was the correct answer. So let's check the other one. Look at the shape and find the length of each side. 32 plus 33, that's how I got 55. Oh, that should have been 65. That is an addition error. That should have been 65 plus 65. So that is an addition error. Okay. Again, I don't have to go insane. I just need to figure out what went wrong. That was an addition error. Which figure has a greater perimeter? 32 plus 32 plus 32 plus 32 versus 28 plus 28 plus 28 plus 28. All of the sides of the blue one are 32 feet. All of the sides of the green one are 28 feet. 32 is greater than 28. And so 32 times 4 is going to be greater than 28 times 4. I can judge that in my head, so I didn't need to write it down. Which figure has a greater perimeter? 29 plus 22. Last time I had an addition error when I added those two-digit numbers. So this time I'm going to write it down. 29 plus 22. That gives me 51 yards. 29 yards plus 22 yards. So that's 51 yards. So 51 yards plus 51 yards. Again, last time I had an addition error, I thought I did it in my head. So see how I'm modeling what to do? It's going to be 102 yards. So I'm looking at 102 yards versus, let's see, 120 yards. Which has a greater perimeter? The 120 yards. So see how here I had to write down 2 calculations just to find one perimeter. Here I was able to do it in my head, and I just wrote down the numbers so I don't hold a lot in my head. And then I just had to compare 102 yards and 120 yards. Last one we're going to do together. Okay, and don't be fooled. Sometimes you're asked for perimeter, sometimes you're asked for area. Remember, area is a multiplicative relationship. I'm asked which figure has a greater area. Area is height times width. So I need to judge 21 meters times 25 meters. Your best strategy at this point is to do an area model. Okay. So 21 times 25. 2 times 2 is 4 with 2 automatic zeros. Any number times 1 is that same number, so 20 times 1 is 20. 2 times 5 is 10, and there's going to be 1 automatic zero. Any number times 1 is that same number, so 5 times 1 is 5. So I have 500 plus 20 plus 5. This is 505 square meters. Versus, here I have 17 times 34 meters. So 30 meters times 4 meters. I'm sorry, 30 and 4 on one side, 7 meters, 10 meters, okay. One times 3 is 3 with 2 automatic zeros. 10 times 4 is 40. 3 times 7 is 21. There'll be 1 automatic zero. And 4 times 7 is 28. So that's going to be 510 plus 68. So that should be 578 square meters. Which figure has a greater area? This one, the 17 by 4.